Sometimes a simple beat is the best beat, and we don't want something that's going to be too busy that crowds out the rest of our tracks or instruments and vocals. But if you're ever in a situation where you're working on a track and you feel like the beat just needs just a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more spice, something extra is missing, definitely check out the effects that are available within Studio One, and they just may add that little bit that you're looking for your song. So this is going to be a pretty short video, and we're just going to take a look at a few of these effects and how you could go about using them on your beat to make it a little bit something more. Now I've created a basic beat here, and we're just going to listen back to that first, and then we'll check out a few of the effects. So I'll play back. Okay, now let's close our Impact and open our browser. Actually, let's F3 and come to the mix console. So if we're going to work with the effects, we could add them individually on the inserts. I have the drums separated out, so the kick is on channel 1, my snares are on 2, I have a perk 1 and perk 2 here. We could also, if I hold shift and click the first one, select them all, right click, and then add a bus for the selected channels, and then place an insert effect here that will process all of these channels because they're all being routed to this bus channel. If we click here, we can see that these are all being sent to the bus channel. But I'm going to right click and remove that. And for this video, I'm just going to add an effects channel. I'll double click at the bottom and call this drums effects. Press enter and click on the last channel, hold shift and click on the first. Now I'll come to the sends and let's choose that drums effects. And I'm going to use this method because it's going to give a little bit more control. First of all, it's going to save processing power. Instead of adding an effect to every single channel, we just place it on the one effect send. And then we can use these sliders up at the top to adjust the amount of that signal we're sending to the effect. Because for instance, the kick, if we're using a delay as our effect, we may not want the kick to have so much of that. So we could take that down and adjust these discreetly. We also have the fader on our effects send here that we could adjust the level of as well to tailor how much of that effect we have in our mix. So let's open up the browser and the effects tab. Let's expand out the Presonus, and actually we'll just use the plus here and check out a few of these effects and presets. We'll start with the analog delay. Let's come up to the top and choose one of these here. Playback. We can adjust our dry wet blend here. Unlock it. Our feedback. And again, use our fader here. Take the feedback down. Okay, and let's go ahead and remove the analog delay, and this may get a little bit monotonous because I'm going to play the same beat throughout this, but I really want you guys to get an idea of how much these effects can change your beat. So let's check out the auto filter and choose a default here. We'll start with that baseline 2. Let's come back to the beginning of our beat and check this out. So you've got a ton of different controls on all of these effects that you can make use of. Okay, let's remove the auto filter off. And of course, you could always use a chain of these effects and see if that gives you the sound that you're looking for. But I just want to go through these individually for this tutorial. Let's check out the beat delay. We could always make use of the feedback on this one. So if we wanted to have more of our snare, we could always take this level and up. And let's just try out a couple more here. Open our browser back. And we'll go with the bit crusher. Okay, and then the last one we'll check out is the red light district. This is actually a really cool one to use for drums. You can really get a grimy sound out of this one here. So here we go there. We've got drive control. Okay, so I think we will stop there. I think at this point you get the idea that you can experiment with these and get a better sound, and just check out any effect that you like. There is no real right or wrong most times when you're trying to achieve the sound that you want. As long as you like it and you're happy with it, then that works. So you could even try out something like the rotor on your drums. Maybe it's going to sound awful, but maybe it will work in the particular track or drum beat that you have. So a lot of these, the way that they're going to affect your drums is going to be dependent on the samples that you've chosen for your kit, as well as how the rest of your track is as far as the instruments or samples that you're using or the vocals. And also, before we go, I have a video on making better beats. I think it's 5 tips for better beats. So I'll leave a card up above here, a link, if you're interested in checking that out. All right, I'll see you in the next tutorial.